Super Mario 64 is one of the most well-known games in the world. Everyone knows about it and everyone loves it. However, most people just play the game and don't think at all about what is going on inside of the game. Because who is truly in control when you are playing? Well, most people would say the player. However, according to some on the internet, there is an even bigger force that controls and manipulates you along a path in the game. An entity that might be a force of good, or maybe, just maybe, something that wants to hurt you and make your life hell. So, is there actually something built into Super Mario 64 that controls things? Is it a force of good or evil? And what exactly does it do? Well, today we will find out what is lurking inside of these decade-old cartridges. And the answer will shock you. But before we get into this video, we have to talk about the sponsor, Raid Shadow Legends. A true console experience right on your mobile phone with over 600 champions that you can unlock. One thing I've always liked about Raid is the design of their champions. Some of them look fantastic and also very intriguing. Like Jizo. I love his blade arm, the skulls he carries with him, and his armor. All of this gives him a bounty hunter look. His faction, the Lizardmen, evolved from the brackish waters of Talaria long before modern humanoid races emerged. They are fearsome creatures that have been deemed untouchable, but are tolerated in swamps and city sewers. But there is more! This month, Raid's got a non-stop schedule of special events and activities, including Forge Pass Season 3. You can get amazing rewards, new champions and skins for the incredible Madame Cerise are coming, and the Death Knight is becoming a legendary champion. It's something we've all been waiting for, and I can't wait to see how the ultimate Death Knight turns out. So this is the best time to get started in Raid, and if you click my link in the description or scan the QR code on screen right here, we're talking a free champion named Vergus, 200k silver, 1 energy refill and 1 XP boost, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon awesome champions as soon as you get in-game. All this stuff can be found right here. So download Raid Shadow Legends today! Now let's get on with the video. Super Mario 64 was really in a league of its own. It was a true trendsetter back in the 90s with its 3D platforming concepts. Nintendo showed the industry how it should be done. They created mechanics, controls, and worlds that almost no other could rival. Well, unless it was a game that was also on the Nintendo 64 and associated with Nintendo, like Banjo-Kazooie. However, as people played, they noticed something odd that they hadn't experienced ever before in any other game. There are differences in each version of the game according to some, because not everyone's time in the world of Super Mario 64 is the same. And some believe that every copy of Super Mario 64 is actually personalized, with it changing and adapting to the player in different ways to adhere to their desires, playstyle, and skill. And according to the internet, this is done through an experimental personalization artificial intelligence, which seems to pull assets from the game and modify them to the player's needs. But you might think, what do you mean, Wily? I have never noticed any of this when I played this game, so what are you on about? Well, let me explain. The reason why you've never experienced anything is because most of you have only played the common ROM that's available on the internet, and the same is found on Virtual Console. And this ROM only contains some of the surface level changes that the game has to offer. And only when you truly play a different copy you will see more than you ever have. This so-called personalization AI functions by taking objects, text, and code and rearranges it to change, remove, or add new content from Super Mario 64 to cater to the player. It figures out what to change by reading the player's playstyle. So it truly is some form of AI. And this is also where it gets weird, because many fans on the internet have tried to figure out how it all works. According to several theories online, Wet Dry World functions as its brain and Princess Peach's castle as its veins. and it uses a piece of hardware inside of the cartridge known as the Nintendo Mega Connector to add excessive amounts of content to the game, such as more than 4 floors. Apparently, it can use this chip to connect wirelessly to a large server in a Nintendo HQ that gives all the space any cartridge would need for any level of personalization. I know all of this sounds, quite crazy, but people swear that this stuff is real. Every version of Super Mario 64 is unique. But what exactly does it change then? What can this AI really do in the game? Well, there are some good examples of what it can change in the game, and so let's have a look at some examples. One small thing it can do is add a hidden 1-up, which can be found by punching a wall on the Tower of Womp's fortress. Now, some people claim that it doesn't exist in their copy, or that there's a cracked texture. But all of this can be different depending on the copy you have and what the AI actually does in-game. Many users online have come forth supposedly documenting their findings relating to this AI. For example, the YouTuber Jeff-tastic documents his playthrough of 2 Super Mario 64 cartridges in a video series. And during it, he came across some bizarre stuff, such as a weird wide-eyed chomp found in Bob-omb Battlefield. Something which you normally don't see. But that's not where it ends. It can even bring back assets that are functional but unused, such as the blarg or the dancing flower effect. And it can even change levels in the game. But what does that exactly mean? Well, at its most simple, it'll merely change or modify textures and object placement. However, at its most complex, it can change the very missions that the player must go through, or even change the arrangement of instruments in the music to create entirely new tracks. Clearly, this so-called AI that's built into every legit copy of Super Mario 64 has a lot of power and can completely alter your experience. And believe me, this rabbit hole can go a lot deeper, because there are many theories out there talking about why it was created and how all of it exactly works. Heck, it can even make your experience worse. There are theories out there that claim that it is some sort of evil. The main idea is that the AI was created for something more sinister than Super Mario 64. These include summoning harmful anomalies, collecting data on the public, harvesting souls, speaking to the devil, and more. So it could even be evil in a way instead of a fun extra that makes the game more interesting and replayable. But is any of this even true? Is there really some sort of AI inside of Super Mario 64 cartridges that enhances your experience or makes it worse? Well, it most likely isn't real, and all of it can actually be explained in 2 ways. First of all, it could be that someone messed with a cartridge. We all know what is possible nowadays when it comes to modding or hacking a cartridge. And then I haven't even mentioned something like arbitrary code execution. All these things allow you to change the game, and you aren't limited to just small things. You can change almost anything using the methods I just mentioned. So it could very well be that someone, or multiple people, altered Super Mario 64 cartridges and released them into the wild. And so in time, rumors started to pop up and people assumed that this could be a more widespread thing than it actually is. However, I know some of you won't accept this explanation, so I will give you another. It could be that the so-called AI in the game is merely an excuse or rationalization for poor memory of Super Mario 64. If you look into all of this, you will see one pattern constantly. A lot of people who claim to have seen instances of the AI doing something recall them from their childhood, a time where the brain is developing and memory can prove faulty. Memories also have the tendency to be muddled up with other memories, hence why some people can remember Super Mario 64 having features of other games, or even its DS remake. So personally, I don't think any of this is real, and it's once again a gigantic hoax. Nintendo even said all of this was fake, and the AI cannot be found within the files of the game, even when it is running. Clearly, all of this is a well-constructed joke and hoax that many people on the internet believed. So, is this always what happens? Well, no. There are also hoaxes out there that are somewhat real, like Luigi being in Super Mario Sunshine, which I also covered in a video. So go check that one out by clicking in the upper right corner or on the screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to subscribe, click the bell button, subscribe, comment, everything. Tell me what I need to do. You know how this goes. I'm really tired. Thank you for watching.